What's up, fellow collectors? P Rockzilla back again, and today we're gonna be taking a look at the Asmus Lord of the Rings Legolas figure from the Battle of Helm's Deep. Now, I know this company is getting a lot of flack currently because of their recent debacle with the Ash figure, which truly disappointed me, and makes me sad because I was really looking forward to that figure. So I know a lot of people are giving that company a lot of flack, but I still support the company because unfortunately it's the only company that makes six scale Lord of the Rings figures. They're the only company that has that owns the rights to the IP. So I'm kind of forced into getting the figures. My first one was Gimli. Fell in love with Gimli. So I had to start getting some of the other ones. Now I plan to just basically get the Fellowship only and Golem and some of the villains, but that's about it. I'm not gonna go that deep into the series for the Asmus figures, but I was looking forward to this guy. I missed out on the first one, thankfully, because the first one did not look too good. This one looks a lot better, so I'm excited to get this review started so I get to figure out the box and take a look at my boy here. Let's get this review started. Dale. So let's take a look at the box before we get the figure out. So in the front, you got this nice picture of Legolas from the movie. Unfortunately, this is not the character. I mean, the actual figure. That would be nice if it had the fully rooted here. But you get this nice little embroidered lettering right here. Battle for Helm's Deep, Asmus, New Line Cinema. Down here, you get the warning information, the barcode. On the side, you get the name again, Battles for Helm Deep, 6-scale action figure. In the back here, you get all the legal information intended for, yep, so there we go. It's a bunch of information right there. Top, same thing. On the right, left-hand side, same thing. And that's it. In the back, I already showed you guys that. So, yep, let's get him out the box. Once you get the figure out the box, this is what you get. Let's move the box to the side since we don't need that anymore. And let's take off the first clamshell cover. And let's grab the figure first. And let's take a look at our boy here. Take all this plastic off real quick. Thankfully, it's not the Hot Toys plastic where it takes a minute to get that plastic off. You gotta bring the knives out sometimes. All right, so let's take a quick look at him. As you can see, face sculpt, I mean, you can tell who it is. It doesn't look like the actor that much, but you can tell who it is. Now, this is some of the controversy right here, is where there has the actual head sculpt, the hair sculpted on the top, and then it has the rooty hair underneath. Some people don't like that. I know they did that with Elrond too. With him, it looks better because obviously he's black hair, so it kind of blends in better. With Legolas right here, it kind of stands out a little bit more, but it doesn't look that bad, honestly. I kind of like it. Because I wouldn't want, with him being an archer, I wouldn't want him to be limited on his head articulation. So the fact that it's rooted here, it should give you more articulation at the head. And then from here, now let me just see. This is plastic, so there's nothing here is pleather, which is a good thing, so I don't have to worry about conditioning. And let me just see something. If I put the lights a little brighter for you guys, if you can see some of the more of the details. Let's just see. Maybe. No, that's fine. All right, sorry about that. All right, so then you got this. You got soft goods here. This is all soft goods. You get the nice patterns on his bracelets. You get the nice pattern on his chest. Shoulder pads, hard plastic. Straps are hard plastic. Belts are hard plastic. Let's take a look at the back. So here, it's all hard plastic also. And then if you look under there, there's some soft goods under there. And this is the sheaths for the swords. Now he has the dual wielding or daggers, like short swords. Here you can put the arrows. And back here, this is like a shiny soft good. This feels, a little cheap, but like it's just too perfectly cut. Like it's like arts and craft type thing. but it looks good enough. Under here, you get the pants. You get some more detail on the boots right here. All right, so we get him out the way. We'll just take a look at everything that comes in the package. On the first part, you get his right here, his bow, all his arrows, his daggers. And then these are the ones that you would use, I think, more likely if you want to have him like sheath into the his backpack. These are the ones that more likely will go in there, but we'll find out once we get it out. So you get everything here double layered, as you can see. So you have the arrows and the sheath versions of the daggers in the bottom, and then the bow and the daggers on top. And then you get the sword here. Let's bring this back down. You get the sword there, the different hands, and a base. And in the bottom, you get his cape, his hooded cape. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to get him laid out with all these accessories. So we can take a good detailed look at everything he comes with. There's Legolas laid out with all the accessories that come in the box package with them. And it looks like, when I was taking things out, I was like, dang, this is a lot more than I thought. So when you get the package, I mean, it's a longer box, but it's pretty thin, you know, in the width and everything. But I didn't expect this many things. So, hey, I'm happy about that. The more accessories, the happier I am. Anyways, oh, another thing too is more likely all these accessories can be equipped on him while you have him displayed. That's always a bonus for me. All right, so let's always take a look at the figure first. That's what I normally do when I get to figure out the box. Want to make sure he's all good, make sure nothing's broken. So let's take I remove the plastic so you can actually see the hair. All right, and then let's go ahead and get the articulation going. So you do have ratchets at the shoulder. Again, you gotta be careful with this plastic right here and just make sure there's not enough tension. I'm sorry, I'm zooming out of the camera. Just make sure there's not enough tension there. All right. So the shoulders he can go, well, can do almost a Y pose. I just don't want to pull it too much and put too much tension on those shoulder pads. But you can do a Y pose. Let me just bring that down a little bit more, just for precautionary reasons. All right, so then we got that. So then let's see the elbows. He does have almost a full double jointed elbow, almost. You do get bicep swivel, so that's pretty cool. All right, arms go all the way out again. Let's flip that back this way. Same thing on this end. So I make sure all my joints are working on camera. There we go. So that goes in this way. Yeah, it doesn't go any further than that. And I want to pull it, but you do get good articulation there. All right, so that goes all the way up. And let's see the head movement. So the head can go, see, all the way up. So that can go pretty good. See, if you had that articulated here, not articulated, sculpted here, then you probably wouldn't have that articulation right there. And the head can go pretty good down, so it can look way down that way. Let's check the ab crunch. He can go back, not much. That's kind of sucks, but oh well. And then he can go forward real good. He can go all the way down. You got abs for days. So that's good right there. You can do that. You can articulate there. So I love, like I said, that's a bonus with the rooted hair and the back end, the articulation in the head and the neck. He can look sideways. He can do the full 360. I just don't want to do it because I don't want to mess up the hair just yet. All right, so does he have twist at the waist? Let's see. So he does twist at the waist. Now the only thing is, it is hindered with the jacket underneath the belt, as you can see there. So he does have twist at the waist, so he can twist good. So good articulation so far. The legs, let's see if you can do a split. All right, so that's one thing I can see already. So you're going to have to pull his little man skirt up and tuck his jeans up a little bit. And he could, ooh, I was kind of pushing that fabric there. So he could do a split. You just don't want to pull on that too much and break stitching. So he could do pretty much a split. The legs, yeah, see, look, so you can do a split sideways, basic, on the way. So you can do like the, you know, gymnastics pose. His knees do get double bending. Oh, look at that, you do the flying knee. With the whole head mastered off here, flying knee. Oh, that's nice. So that's gonna be cool. That'd be a cool pose too. So, you know, get him jumping in the air, shooting an arrow in the air like this with the legs. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe I'll do that in my display. Anyways, all right. So you get there. Do we have any twist? Do we have twisted the thighs? the thigh. See, that's where all the action's at. All right, now I do see there, so that's good. All right, so let's go down to the feet. So he does not have, oh wait, yeah, it's just gotta crack it in there. So he does have articulations. Feet can go down, toes can go up. A little bit pivot from side to side, and does twist. So it is a split cut boot, so that's a good thing. So you do get some articulation there. This is all hard plastic. You get a little design there. Let's zoom in on this. You can see that looks real good. I like that. Nice little design. I'll move up the character so you can actually see. You get the nice design here on his chest, like I mentioned before. On the gloves or the gauntlets. All right. So let's put him back. Let's put his skirt back down. As you can see, there's a body down there. All right, put that skirt back down. Let's fix his hair. Leave that. And let's look at his accessories now. So of course, obviously, he's gonna come with his bow. Now I have the 6 scale. You'll see when part of the size comparison. I'll probably bring them out. The Legend of Zelda, and I had him pose. My mistake. I had him pose like doing the arrow, bending the back. So unfortunately, you know, I learned my lesson. Like right now, I'm having this sit still, so I can kind of go back to form. But the bow looks nice, so I'm not gonna do that with this guy. So I'm trying to get my point. Get kind of like a wooden feel and look to it. With the nice designs on there, the nice patterns. Goes all the way around. You get some pull, as you can hear that. That's cool. And then he does come with 10 of these arrows. So we're gonna get some detail in there. This probably could have been painted a little bit better. It looks a little too like dull greenish. There should have probably been some detail in between. Like those, you see like the kind of like the panel line, not panel lines, but like, you know, lining right there. You could kind of have that painted better. The tips looks a little, you know, a little rough. But you do get 10 of these. They are pretty pointy. You get 10 of those. Then you get his little daggers. You get 2 of them. You see a nice pattern on the blade. These actually look nice. The paint on this looks pretty good. It makes it look, is it metal? No, it's plastic. That's weird because I know. I mean, Asmus normally has their weapons. Like Gimli, all his axe have die cast. Gandalf, his sword was die cast. I wonder if the sword he comes with is die cast. We'll find out. And then the fact that these don't actually go in the sheath. The fact that you get these instead to put in the sheath when you want to have it equipped on him. Definitely could have meant they could have had these die cast and not worry about people breaking them or trying to put them inside the sheath. So yeah, these should have been die cast too. Then you get 2 of these. Same thing, I guess it's just a blade, so that way you could just put these in the sheath on his backpack. Then you get, I got like the instructions. I don't know, these are different hands. So you get 2 left hands. Obviously this is the bow, the one pulling the bow. This is more likely to equip one of the weapons, or maybe to pull the arrow. Not sure, I'll find out later. Comes with 2 closed fists, the 2 dapping hands. You get pretty detail on there. You get the veins. That looks pretty realistic. See? So you get 2 of those, and then you get another 2 hands that I'm not completely sure. I think this is another one or something else. Maybe you could, I don't know. And this is probably another one for the bow or for the daggers or the sword. I'll find out. And then, as always, you get 2 extra pegs because there are times you see these little tiny pegs right here where you're trying to pull the hands out and the whole peg comes out with it. So instead of putting these in your teeth and pulling them out, you get spare ones. So here comes the sword. Let's look at the sword real quick. So the sword has this nice, let's bring the details up there, pattern on the handle and on the sheath. This is, oh wait a minute, is this, oh, this is, no, it feels like a Velcro type thing. That's different. It's not, doesn't feel like plastic. Maybe it is plastic. Kind of feels like a little Velcro-ish. You get a nice design there. Oh no, see, yeah, see, look. It has like thread in there. You can see the little hair. So it's not plastic, it's not pleather. Interesting. This is somewhat metal. Yeah, these are metal. These pieces right here that are holding the belt. The belt buckle is like a metal. You see a nice design on that belt buckle. All right, so it's time to see if the sword is die cast. You have one at the butt of the sheath. So let's pull this out. Nope, that's plastic. Come on, Asmus. How you gonna give us all these other characters with die cast weapons and then this guy has plastic? It's painted nice. It looks like a metal. Get that shine right there, but it's not. That kind of sucks, but all right. I mean, it looks nice. I'm just used to the die cast. All the other ones have die cast. All right, so you get the basic base, stand, 3-0. Man, you gotta start stepping your game up. Man, I love you guys, man. We need those base and stands too. And then finally, you get the wired hooded cape. I'm definitely gonna be using this. And it looks a little finicky right there, the little way it's attached on there. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll tell you if I come across any issues with that. And then you get a nice, let me bring my lighting up a little bit just so you can see the pattern on this. You get the nice pattern. So obviously this back part right here is going to be for his backpack. Backpack. You get the more rugged feel on the outside, softer on the inside. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put some of these accessories on him. And then I'll have him showing you guys real quick how some of the stuff goes on real quick. And then from there, we'll go to a size comparison. All right, so I had some issue putting the belt on mine, the belt that was a sword. According to the instructions, this buckle, on the picture they have in the instruction, looks different from the buckle in the actual figure. According to the instructions, you're supposed to loop it up from here and then back under, but there's no way to do it under unless you're actually going under the part. So I did some work around whatever, but you know, if anybody has this figure and if they had the same issue or if they notice my belt buckle is different, just let me know in the comments. Another thing that was kind of not really a pain, but you got to be careful with is when you put I'll show you real quick. When you put the sheath versions of the sword into the sheath, you might want to kind of hold the bottom portion. You look down here real good. That's the end of the sheath. You might want to put your thumb down there and kind of hold them in place because they do slide up and down. So that's one thing that was kind of annoying from this, like when you put them in there and they only fit one way like that. Actually, I got this one the wrong way. Oopsie. See, yeah, I pulled it up and the sheath actually went up with it. Got to be careful with that because if you pull up too much, then the whole thing will actually come out from the backpack and you don't want that happening. Basically, just slide that in there. Fix it. I'll fix it a little bit better, but for my first pulls, I'm not going to have them with that on. So, but yeah, so just be careful. Like I said, sheaths actually do move and there's a cloth here that comes loose. And my OCD, I keep trying to adjust that cloth, but just be careful with that. Just keep that in mind when you guys putting these weapons into the sheath of the backpack. All right, and that's really about it. So let's go ahead and get them sized up for a size comparison. And then for the hood, in order to put the hood on, you're supposed to take the head off because you have to try to fit the backpack and everything through that hole right there. So we'll tackle that when I get to that. Oh, one last thing too is the arrows in the back, the quiver, they all do fit, but if they do fit, they will stand a little bit higher. So I just felt it was a little bit better to at least take 3 out so they could sit down a lot better and not be sticking up like way up here. All right, so let's go ahead and get the size comparison going on. Okay, so there's Legolas standing there in default pose just so we get a good size comparison with some other figures. So of course, let's start off with a figure in the same line, and this is gonna be the Asmus Nero from Devil May Cry 5. This guy always has issues because of the boot of standing without his stand, so hopefully he doesn't fall on me. All right, so let's go ahead and get another robed character in there once I get Legolas with his robes on. And this is going to be the 3-0 Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. There we have Jon Snow. And last but not least, let's get one more rolled figure in there. And this is going to be the Hot Toys Kylo Ren. Match right there. And there we go. So there's a good way to see how these figures will look in your display and in your collection. And how, you know, Legolas is not too big compared to some of the other figures in different lines. We got Hot Toys, Asmus, and 3-0 all right here in representation. So let's go ahead. Let's get the final thoughts and final poses. And there we have Legolas doing a dynamic pose thanks to those ankle articulations. This is with no stand. I was able to get it with no problem at all. The elbows and the shoulders bend almost perfectly. As you can see, he's getting the other dagger out the sheath. I was able to get that pose pretty good. The only thing that was kind of hitting me was the shoulder pad. As you can see, it's a little crumped up there. But I was able to get it done. I could have gone a little bit more further if I bunched up the shoulder pads more, but I kind of wanted to avoid any issues with any of the straps having too much tension. I know they're more like a rubber, they're not like the pleather, but they can still break, and I don't want to take that chance. And he holds the weapons fine. The hands are kind of like a soft gummy type in a way, where thankfully I guess it's a good thing that the weapons are not die cast, because if they were die cast, then they would have kind of drooped in his hands a little bit, with as soft as the hands are right now with this figure. But yeah, I mean, I like the figure so far. Like I said, the face sculpt is not 100% accurate. It's close enough for me to know who Legolas is. Yeah, I admit now that I see him rotate, maybe I should have pushed that head back a little bit more so you don't see that neck joint as much. That can be easily fixed. There's no problem with that at all. He looks good, man. He's gonna fit perfect in my fellowship, in my display. The hands I know are one little problem is the peg that goes into the hands are pretty small, so the hands do come out easy, especially with the gauntlets. If you move the gauntlets up too much, they do tend to push the hands out. So you gotta kind of be careful with that. Because of that, it could kind of be a pain to get the hands back in because of the gauntlets. You gotta try to squeeze the rubber part into the inside part of the gauntlet. Straps hold up fine with the articulation. The coat moves around a little bit underneath there, which is no problem. You just gotta, fucks with it a little bit, and then you can get it, readjusted to the way you want. The skirt, the silver little skirt thingy underneath him, you gotta push up a little bit more if you want to get some of these poses done correctly. The hair, not a problem at all. It got a little frizzle a little bit at the end, but you can easily adjust that and fix that, so that's no problem at all with the hair. The weapons fit perfectly in the hands. The bow, I haven't done the bow yet. I'm gonna probably do the bow in the next pose. So far I'm enjoying the figure. He came out better than I was hoping he was gonna come out. There is Legolas standing there in his heroic pose. Not 100% sure if this is the final pose I'm gonna keep in my display. I currently have my fellowship members set up like in a grouped up, ready for action type pose. So I gotta mess around with the display a little bit to see how I can fit Legolas in there. I don't want, I guess I mentioned before, I don't want to do anything with him drawing the bow because I don't want to put too much tension on that rope. I learned my lesson from the Medicom Skyward Sword Link figure where I had him pose with the bow string fully, retracted, and eventually, basically, it kind of wore off. But it's slowly going back to normal. Anyways, another thing to be careful with this guy is I had a hard time. Now, if you want to experience some freaking stress, when you take the head off to put the cape on him, when you take the head off, the neck peg is supposed to stay attached to the neck. But of course, my luck, when I pulled the head off, the neck peg came off with the head. And it is almost impossible to get back on there. What I had to do is basically take my some pliers and basically pull the peg out and then reattach the peg into the neck and then put the head on there. But I think I may have did a little bit of damage. I'm not sure. It felt a little looser when I put it back in there. Maybe I'm not fully flushed in there. But just be careful. Be warned, when you take the head off to put the cape on, slowly take the head off. Make sure that neck peg does not come off with the head. Other than that, I mean, getting that back on there and then readjusting the cape and trying to readjust all the soft goods was kind of a big pain. This review took a lot longer than it was supposed to. More of the back end, behind the scenes stuff was the stuff that took me a long time. So just be careful with this figure. There's a little frustration if you're not careful with the way you mess around with him. But other than that, I love the way he came out. I love the accessories he came with. The face sculpt could have been a little better. The hair could have been, he could have had a little bit more hair to help cover up that neck area. I tried to adjust a little bit, but then it just started coming apart and just looking too frizzy. So I just didn't have much time to mess around with it during the review. I'll do that after the review's over. Would I recommend this guy? I would say if you want to collect your fellowship, then yes, he is one of the coolest characters in the movie. Him and Gimli have that cool connection, that cool bond that when I watched the movies, I knew for a fact that if they would release figures for these guys, I had to get them too. Is he a must get? I guess the Asmus is hit or miss. I wouldn't say this is a must buy figure, but it's definitely up there if you want to get some Lord of the Ring 6 scale collectible figures. Like I said, this is the only line so far that has them. Yes, it would be nice if another company got the IP. Asmus is good. It's just they're not consistent. They'll have, about 2 or 3 figures come out that are awesome where they look pretty, good enough. And then they'll have that one where they drop the ball, Ash. And it's just, they're not consistent company. So it's kind of hit or miss with them. That's why I'm not going to get all the Lord of the Ring figures. I'm just going to go ahead and get just a fellowship. But I love my Legolas. He looks good. Could be better, but he looks good enough for me. He's going to look good if I display. I'm going to mess around some more, try to figure out maybe if this is the final pose for him or just do a more dynamic pose. But I like this pose right here, man. It looks like he's ready. And he's ready to take out some orcs and some elves and get down. Have that little competition with Gimli. But anyways, people, as always, if you enjoyed this review, please hit that like, click the subscription button, hit that bell notification. And as always, people, keep collecting, be good, stay safe, dale.